everybody, how's it going? My name is Melissa and this is my channel Geeky Witch, about all things cross stitch in my life. Today is October 10th, 2021, and I'm going to be showing you some of my progress for the day and for the week, for that matter. A few things that I've purchased recently, and then doing the daily unboxing of Black Needle Society's Trick or Treat box for day 10. I will be doing the unboxing at the end of the video, and we'll be doing a, hey, if you haven't opened it yet, this is where you should leave warning. So don't worry, I won't open it until I've given a heads up if you're worried about being spoiled. So it's the end of the weekend. Tomorrow is Indigenous Peoples Day, formerly known as Columbus Day here in the United States. My son has the day off, but I do not. So for me, it's been a normal weekend. For my friends that are up in Canada, I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving weekend this weekend. We'll join you next month when we start doing our turkeys and whatnot for the end of the harvest. And it's been a nice weekend. The weather was kind of cool and very autumny, and watched some football today and did a lot of stitching and got a little bit of work done around the house. It was nice. So I had promised yesterday that I was going to show you all the other things I've been working on, but I was reviewing my videos and realized that I pretty much had done that already, up to date of everything I've been working on recently, other than Witch's Wheel, and then I've done some other work today on alphabets. So that's all the stitching I have to show you today. I'm caught up. I decided then that I'll show you a little bit of the purchasing haul that I've done recently, because I've unfortunately been doing a lot of shopping that I really probably shouldn't be, but I'm home, I'm stitching, and it gives me a little bit of joy in stressful times. And hey, I consider it life insurance. I can't pass away until I stitch all this stuff, right? That's my theory anyway. So let's go on to the stitching for the day. So here is Witch's Wheel, which is my monthly focus piece for October. And that is what the final piece will look like, with all of the beads and all the cross stitches in DMC 310, also known as black. 32 count solar Belfast linen is the called for fabric, and that is what I am stitching on. It comes off on screen a lot lighter than it actually is. It is a primary, almost like a primary orange. It is a really bright orange. So that's the piece. And here is my daily progress on it. Let me make sure I have the correct side up. So here we go. So I've made a decent amount of progress since yesterday, and yes, I have a trail there because I did an extra long string today. We've done about a string and a half. As it slips. Come here. Okay. So I am working on the broom handle and the broom for the witch that looks just like this one, just reversed. So it's this section here, just reversed over here. And then my plan is to carry it down towards the foot here, and once I'm down here, I actually will come back up and do the head and then start working this way, because I found that works a little bit easier for me to keep my counts correct if I get some of the major parts done first. So that's where that is. It keeps plugging along. Really happy with my daily progress. And now that I'm not counting on it and I just have to work, thread at a time, that works really nicely too. I have learned this year, as I have been counting all of my stitches that I've been doing, that I don't mind it. It actually does kind of give me a better sense of how long it takes me to do stitches. But I'm finding I don't like doing it for challenges. I find it to be a bit of a pain in the butt. So I am planning on pretty much dropping out of all but one of those challenge groups at the end of this year and just enjoying my own stitching next year and not really worrying about any of that stuff, because I did get off track with my plans for this year due to those groups, and I want to get back on track. So the other piece I'm working on is alphabets, and the completed pattern, the photo just sucks. It's not, honest to God, it's not worth bringing it up here for you, because it's so small you can't see it on the on the chart. It's not worth it. So I'm just going to show you what I have done so far, and you're going to get the general idea of what this is. I am doing alphabets on 20, it's technically 27 count banding from Zweigart. It's an even weave. It's kind of a weird weave. And then I am doing this in cherry coffee threads from Nina's, and she is out of Budapest. And you'll get, I'm doing it all in the same color floss. It just is a really neat color changing floss. So let me pull back. Where can I get this to where it's good? Yeah, that's about as good as it's going to get under this light. Okay, there we go. So the way this works is that between each alphabet line, there's a different specialty stitch. So I have the cross stitches are done with 2 threads over 2, and then the specialty stitch is done with 1 thread over however it's designed. So the beginning of this year, I was here on C. So everything else I've done this year. We got through here, and then I'll start rolling this up. And I'm really happy with how this is going. I am working on this for the Alpha My Bet stitch along on semi-sane stitchers. I am a few weeks behind, but I still think that I am going to, oh, there we go. I still think I'm going to meet the goal and finish this year, because it does move really fast. And once I get a couple of other obligations done that I have planned over the next few weeks, this is going to fly. So I just finished the 2 P's today, and now I am working on those Rhodes hearts that are between O and P. So I've gotten 3 done. There's 2 more to go in that line, and I'm really happy with how this is turning out. And yeah, I'm hoping to move this sucker along pretty quickly. I have 250 stitches that I have to get done on this for Crystal Academy to finish off my spell work for the term, and then I'm done with that, and then we'll see what's next on my plate. Probably modern folk embroidery, but I also have a couple of ornaments that I both need and or want to do. Take your pick, because they were for exchanges that are coming up in the near future, but you know, ornaments are something you kind of, I'll plunk down for a weekend and I'll get them done and everything will be good. So that's my stitching for the last week. And now I'm going to show you some of the fun stash I've gotten in recent weeks. I've been buying floss primarily. I've got a couple of projects that I really want to start sometime in the next 3 to 6 months, probably closer to 6. They're probably going to be like after January starts. Maybe one of them will be my New Year's Day start. I haven't decided yet. But Mo's sale on Facebook has weekly floss sales. She basically does a bunch of hanks of either silk or cotton, and then she puts them up for sale on Saturdays on her Facebook group. They're pretty reasonably in cost because they're full hanks, and she's not, if I remember right, she's not doing them by just like skeins anymore. She's just doing hanks, which It's fine with me because I'd rather buy it in a hank anyway, just to know that I have enough. So I've bought quite a few of them from her lately, and I generally buy them in sets of 2 because I know I'm going to be doing big projects. So I'll show these to you. These 2 are silk, and they go from kind of a light turquoisey blue to a light brown, a little bit brighter than what I'm doing on my Modern Folk Embroidery Fruit of Plenty. The blue is brighter. The brown is actually pretty close to what I'm using. As you can see, it's kind of one of my favorite color combos. This is called Horizon. I really like those. Those are silk. They're each 100 yards. And the silk is 6-ply silk. So, decent amount there. Then I have, these are cotton. And this is her Halloween edition. So this is Beetlejuice. A little brighter than I thought it would be. It's a little more neon-y. But I already have an idea for this as well. And these are also 100-yard hanks. And they go from a pretty medium lilac-y purple to a light blue to a green to a yellow. Not quite sure why they're called Beetlejuice, because that's not what I would think of for Beetlejuice colors, but we'll go with it. And then the final 2, I already figured out what I'm using this for. So these are called Dracula, and they are a medium purple to a dark gray with just a little tinge of the purple in there. It's more kind of like that 414 gray, you know, that it's not the 3799 gray. It's more on the 414 shades from DMC. But yeah, absolutely love this. And I'm going to do one of the Ink Circles Cirque pieces. I'm leaning towards Cirque de Coeur for this one, the one hearts. I don't think I'll do Cirque de Cirque in that. Heck, maybe I'll do Beetlejuice for Cirque de Cirque and see what happens with it. But I'm thinking Cirque de Coeur for this on like a really pretty light gray fabric. So that's that plan. Then I have my fabrics of the month that have come in. I'm in 2 different clubs right now because I'm trying to build up a nice stash of neutrals. I have a lot of brights, but I don't have a lot of neutrals, and I've been kind of on a more of a sampler kick lately. So, you know, building up that stash. And also, I have a lot of stuff in like 28 count, 32 count, but I don't have a lot of 40 count. And lately, I've also been on that kick. A lot of my stuff has been on 40 count. So that's what I've been building up my stash. So this is from Bestitch Me, and it is a fat quarter of 40 count even weave. This is called After the Harvest. It was the September neutral, and it's kind of a pretty peachy color with gray. The peach is a little brighter than what you're seeing come out here on the screen. The gray is coming out pretty true, actually. So that's that fabric. Don't know what I'm going to do on that yet, but I have a couple of ideas. Probably won't work on that fabric until like next year. I'll probably start doing that when I get back into like autumny stuff next year. The other piece and the other fabric group that I'm in is Fortnite Fabrics, who are a little less known, I think, but I really recommend them, and they've got some gorgeous colors on there. And I am getting fat halves from them. So this is a 40 count linen fat half, because I do have some samplers that are just too big to put on a fat quarter. And this was the this was September from them as well. So this is called Edith, And I'm not going to open up the whole thing, but I'll open up half so you get an idea. And this one is a very peachy, light orangey color, a very nice soft mottle. And I already have a couple of ideas for this as well. So that's my fabric stash for the month. I also joined a couple of the stitch-alongs from Tempting Tangles. She does a number of stitch-alongs every single year. She was doing some different ones for like England and Scotland, and you know, they're all mystery stitch-alongs. But she's had a couple lately that I was really intrigued about. One is called Solitude, which I guess is going to be part of like a 3-part, 4-part verse type band sampler. And then the other one is called Rookie Woods, which just started a couple weeks ago. I think actually a week ago. And both of them are using dinky dyes, and there are thread packs. So these are, well, let me get them out of the bag. I don't want to get them mixed up, which is why I kept them in the bag. These are in dinky dyes silks. So these are the colors for Solitude. And this stitch along is almost done. I think there's like 2 or 3 more parts at most. So if you want to get in on it as a stitch along, I would suggest getting onto her website pretty soon. But that's that colorway. Aren't those pretty? And I'm going to be using just straight white fabric for these because, well, actually the Rookie Woods I might not use white because there is white floss. But for Solitude I am going to use like antique white. I've got a couple of good smaller scraps that will work out perfect there. And then Rookie Woods, which just started. So if you want to jump in on this one, you're not going to be far behind. And the sections of these are pretty small, so they definitely are doable if for, you know, like every couple of weeks to keep on these stitch alongs. Here is the colorway for Rookie Woods. Again, really, really pretty. A little more autumny, but not entirely so. So I'm planning on getting started on these 2 stitch alongs in December. The Solitude one by then will be pretty much over, but I'll have all the parts to start on my own. I'll be like 3 weeks behind on this, but I don't want to start them until I get the ornament stitching done that I have to do for the year. And finally, we put those back in the bag. They, of course, will never look as nice as they did when they first got here, because I will just kind of stuff them back in the bag. Stuff, shake, shake, shake. Yeah, get in there. Behave. Okay. There we go. The last thing I got was a new hoop. For years, I've been a stitcher who absolutely loved stitching on a Q-snap and swore by them, like did everything on them. Lately, I find my preference moving back towards a hoop. I think part of it's the weight, and I don't know, there's something about I'm just enjoying the feel of a hoop again. But the one thing I have found is that I don't like the thin hoops. I find they kind of cramp my hand a little bit because they're so small. I really like a nice thick hoop. So this is one of the ones by Nerge. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. This is a number 7, so it's one of their thicker hoops. And I think I got this off of Amazon. I think that they're advertised as quilting hoops when they're this thick. They might be needlework, but I'm pretty sure this one in particular was advertised as a quilting hoop. It's about a little bit, maybe like 3/4 of an inch thick, maybe, I don't think it's quite an inch, but a little bit under an inch thick, and it's about a foot, a 12-inch or 30 centimeter hoop, because I do like working on a big comfortable size like this. Most of my hoops and my Q-snaps, I really liked working on 11-inch, so 12-inch hoop. I have not used this one yet, but it is solid, and I cannot wait to use this one in the next couple of weeks. The one that I've been using for Witch's Wheel is just right for it, but I'm kind of tired of bouncing hoops between projects, so I want to have a couple others just to keep in the project bags of the stuff that I'm actively working on. So there was that. And that is what I've purchased lately. The other thing I purchased yesterday, but I won't have it until I believe the spring, is Black Needle Society has a murder mystery box. They just released it to the public today. I don't know how many are left, but if you like whodunits and murder mysteries, jump on that box. It was $100. And like any of their boxes, it is worth it. They put great stuff in there. They put a lot of thought into those boxes. And as long as you like the theme, I think you will enjoy the box. So jump on it if you have any interest, because they will disappear pretty quickly. And I do think they posted today, but it might be gone already, that they had a couple of the nice boxes for Christmas still available, although I'm sure as soon as they posted that, they probably disappeared. So, but check on their website. They may have them available. And that's my pitch for today. Excuse me. Okay, so if you are not wanting to be spoiled on the reveal for today, this is where I will leave you for today. Have a great Monday, and I will see you tomorrow. If you are sticking around, let's open day 10. So day 10 is a little floss box. I recognize the floss boxes now. And I'm going to open this up. There's a big wad of floss in here. It is all DMC. Well, that's interesting. Okay. Oh, look, it's a whole ton of 310. I won't have to go into my Cone of Doom yet. Alright, so we have a huge wad of floss. We've got, just eyeballing it, roughly 20 skeins or so of floss. Several colors. So I'm presuming this is for the next project. Okay, so Thread Pack by DMC, called for by the designer, fibers for your second kitted Halloween project. And where did I put the fabric from yesterday? Still here on my desk? Okay. If you've not opened day 9, here's where you're going to get spoiled on day 9. Let's see. I have a feeling, guys, I think that a couple of my fabrics might be flipped around. But here is the floss toss against the fabric. Maybe not. I guess they work. We'll see. Anyway, so that is day 10. And we'll see tomorrow probably will be another chart. Dun, dun, dun. So this is where I will leave you for tonight. Have a good evening, everybody. Have a good Monday, and I will talk to you at some point tomorrow. See ya. Bye.